Many people can agree with me that they've had a few bad moments in their childhood that they outright wish to forget. Unfortunately, it's these things that are so easily burned in a memory. Have you ever had a time in your life when you would try to remember the good things in the past, only to remember something embarrassing or shameful? Sometimes people go for years without even thinking about any of it. That is, until they find something which triggers that particular memory they never wanted to come back to. And with it comes feelings of nausea and paranoia. This is what happened to me. On this particular day, it was raining. You would walk down the street to see pedestrians taking shelter under bus stops or in big coats, holding umbrellas. I myself was holding one, frustrated by countless strong winds blowing it back. I was strolling down the marketplace looking for some cheap groceries. I wanted to get home quickly since the weather wasn't the best. And as I was bagging some goods, I turned my head to see a table covered with old stuff. Taking a closer look, I could see that it had boxes filled with VHS tapes lined up on their sides. Most of them rather old children's shows, such as Bob the Builder and Thomas and Friends. None of them looked pirated, to be honest. One video case I saw had the Teletubbies logo on it. And I know I'm too old to be interested, but for some strange reason, I had the urge to buy it. I picked up the case to look at it, and what I saw made me jump slightly. It was an image of a bear. And as previously mentioned, some things really bring back bad memories almost instantly. As soon as I saw that bear, so many things had gone into my mind. Horrible things. Things I just can't even get myself to say. These thoughts made me really shaky and nauseated. And despite my feelings, I gave the cashier his money and put it in a bag with all my other things. When I looked back up, the cashier just smiled at me. Not a have a nice day sort of smile, but more of a I'm glad you bought it smile. I didn't smile back. Just walked away, trying to get into my car. And as I drove home, all I could think about was that bear. I would go on to one thought, then just end up thinking of it again, each time bringing that sudden feeling of fear. And when I got home at about 6 p.m., I put the tape to the side while I sorted my food out. Once I was finished, I knew that the only thing I could do was watch the tape. And after setting up my old VHS recorder, I stood and stared at the tape again. But this time, I noticed features that I previously gave no attention to. See, there were no company logos or symbols on the case, and no information on the back for that matter. I opened the case to see that the tape had nothing on it but the word SeeSaw written in a black marker. I rushed to put the tape in, hoping to get it over and done with, and I saw that the tape was almost halfway through, so I rewound it to the beginning. When it was done, I pressed play to see that it was nothing but black. I fast-forwarded the tape until it was on the same place it was before, and strangely, this was right before the images actually appeared on screen. So I grabbed a chair from my kitchen and placed it in front of the television, sat down, and pressed the play button. What was clearly the opening for Teletubbies had begun, with the same music playing quietly. The music was filled with static noise and a high-frequency buzzing, pretty normal for old media like this, but I noticed that it must have been cut, skipping the Sun Baby and logo. I couldn't help but notice the image had horrible quality and appeared as if the tape was decades old. The image was shaky and had a layer of static that constantly fuzzed. The color was also just a blend in gray. And as the Teletubbies ran down the hill, the footage suddenly cuts to them staring at the camera. It cuts again to view an empty field with small hills, and the music suddenly stops. An image of a seesaw flashes on screen. It lasted for about several minutes until a kid with a little boy went on the seesaw, played around on it each side, moving it up and down, but not saying anything. The field then came back into view, and the only thing I could hear now was that buzzing. A small figure appeared in the distance of the field. The buzzing noise became louder. The seesaw image flashed on screen again. The buzzing momentarily silences as the echoey voice of an elderly woman could be heard slowly getting louder. The image flashed again. The screen slowly zoomed into the distant object as the buzzing noise came back, and the woman's voice slowly echoed, "I'm coming, I'm coming." A high-pitched scream was audible as it slowly zoomed. A bear's face flashed on the screen, and things started to get tense. At this point, I was too frightened to turn the volume down, as it says, I'm coming to get you." I looked behind me and quickly looked back. As the screeching became louder, more static could be heard. Random images of children flashed on the screen every few seconds as the camera finally zoomed in until the figure filled the screen. "I am the bear, and I am coming." The horrific sound of children crying could be heard. The camera began to zoom into the bear's face as the seesaw flashed on screen again. I'm coming to get you." The image flashed on screen once more. The seesaw had stopped, and the boys were just staring blankly at each other. The camera had finally zoomed into full view of the bear's face, its mouth moving up and down as it echoed, I'm coming to get you, and I will get you." The bear's eyes began to spin around. The image flashed on screen. The seesaw appeared, but with blood splatters everywhere. Human organs, body parts on and around it, and was surrounded by what appeared to be human remains. The dead bodies of 2 young boys appeared out of nowhere and caused the seesaw to slowly move up and down. They were just laying there, clothes soaked in blood, and the sound finally stopped. I sat and stared at this image for a minute before it went black. Needless to say, after that minute had passed, I immediately grabbed the tape out of the machine and threw it in the bin along with the case. That night I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop thinking about what I saw. I had to frequently check my windows. This couldn't have lasted all night, as when I sat down to try to calm myself, I must have finally fallen asleep. The next morning I had work I needed to finish on my laptop, and as I was checking my emails, I stared at my desktop background. It was a photo of me and my friend in a field. However, I saw something. I saw a small figure on it that I don't remember being there before. I found the original image in my files and zoomed in on it. It was the bear.